Firstly, an organisation is defined as a person or a group of people with its own functions and responsibilities, authorities and relationships to achieve its objectives. As we can see in this example, this enterprise is segmented into 4 organisations: production, HR, finance and IT. And their respective functions, responsibilities and authorities could comprise of those which we can see here. We can see finance could be divided into accounts payable, accounts receivable and payroll, or we may prefer to call these teams, one of the same thing. As for IT, in this example, IT has been divided into teams, such as the service centre, end user support, core business apps and infrastructure. Now, what we do not want is for these teams to operate and work in silos. These teams must work in collaboration, working to the same goals and objectives of the organisation as a whole. In other words, we should succeed together or fail together, not in parts. So, the goals and objectives of the organisation should cascade into each team and mapped accordingly. Unfortunately, this is not the case for every organisation. In some cases, we see various teams within the same organisation at opposite ends. In fact, this situation presents competing objectives, and this is the last thing we want. Let's not forget that the goals and objectives of the organisation represent the strategy of IT. And of course, the strategy of IT cannot stand on its own when it is part of the business, meaning IT strategy is derived from the strategy of the business. So, such competing objectives can end up competing with the business itself. Now, I accept with my next point, I may be exaggerating and oversimplifying things. However, to make my point, we see organisational goals and objectives published on posters or on walls around the company, promoting a culture that is forward-thinking. But we know, in reality, this is quite the opposite. Or promoting a culture which focuses on value for the customer, when in reality this is not true. And a culture that always delivers with a smile. Well, that's a laugh within itself. There are several potential issues, and the solution in crude, simple terms lies with management. Whatever we design, we should design top down and implement bottom up. So one thing we must do is codify the goals and objectives of the organisation and map these to each team respectively, and if need be, to each individual team member accordingly.